Hi, my name is Michaela Doolittle, and I'll be sharing my American culture reaction to the article. If you see me looking that way, it's because I'm reading off my laptop, by the way, because I wrote a script. Anyways, the article explains a lot about the origin, I guess. At least in the start it did talk about the American culture, but as I started to read about the rituals and why they do this, I found it interesting as it starts off saying that they find the human body ugly and the characteristics. And then I kept reading and read some stuff about magical charms, and I found it interesting as they write about the stuff using the words magic and rituals when those words to me mean witchcraft and TV show magic. That's just what I thought of when I was reading these, but I do wonder what magic powders they were mentioning, but I'm assuming it's probably some type of drug. And then reading about the woman baking their heads in an oven for an hour, that was shocking. I don't know, the words were very interesting. And then, what else? I do find some statements true, like the rich and the poor having different housing. It mentioned like the rich having stone, which I do see that a lot, as more poor families do have more poor looking homes and poor material. But I kept reading, and then I found out that this whole article was mocking American culture, which I did not know from the start of it, so that was interesting. So then as I think back to them finding the human body ugly and the characteristics, I realized that is what a lot of Americans see. A lot of Americans have insecurities with their body, and that's just a normal thing. And then it was interesting how extreme the author was writing the American culture, though. I didn't really know that people see our culture as this like extremeness type of thing, but yeah. And then some of it was kind of uncomfortable to read, just as it seemed more inappropriate. But overall, I found the article pretty funny, because I found it funny how the author sees us as life. But anyways, one communication practice that could be seen as odd from a different culture is personal space. Many conversations start with a hi from a distance, and throughout the conversation they stay distant a little more than other cultures would. Some difference with that is that many cultures will go in for a hug right away, or a kiss on the cheek, or even a lot of them will go to shake hands. But in American culture, it's more of like a very far distance, like hi from 6 feet apart, and that's just kind of how the conversation stays. To other cultures who like to be close to others in conversation may see Americans as non-friendly or non-approachable just because of the distance that they like to keep themselves, and some can see it as disrespectful and distant in the conversation. And then over time, this has changed because Americans have always enjoyed their personal space in conversations. I don't think they have ever just started off with a hug or a kiss on the cheek, but now with technology, and especially after COVID, many social interactions happen over the phone, and they're less likely to go out of their way to greet someone with a hug or handshake. I would say, a lot of it came from COVID, just because you were required to stay 6 feet apart for a long time of their life, and a lot of people still are freaked out with that. So I think, but anyways, next question. It says, I would see this change over time as more damaging than beneficial, with more people avoiding social interactions and taking the time to hug someone or get close enough to share the same air. More people are getting more social anxiety, just because they're so used to just speaking over the phone, or just not interacting with people in general in person, especially if they've like had a mask on during COVID. That's just not something you go out of your way to do, especially like giving them a hug. So I think it's gone more damaging just because more people are more socially awkward in conversations, and they just will totally avoid having a conversation in general, which I see that as damaging because you don't really get to know the people without conversating. But I see that as them getting more distant to the conversation and more personal space being added. According to Baruch collegeblogs.edu, they stated, whenever possible, we try to keep as much distance from the next person. Examples like not sitting next to someone on a subway, or when men use urinals in the bathroom. Personal space, I guess. I don't know, I'm not a man. But I wish this could be changed culturally for us, because I always loved to shake someone's hand and be involved in conversations. And it is getting a little bit more difficult when people like to avoid those. And yeah, I've had conversations where people just totally did not want to talk to me, and you could really tell. So I could honestly understand why other cultures see us as non-approachable and disrespectful, because I could see that as well. But that is my video.